Welcome to another episode of OG55 Live. I got the Italiano with me today. It's an Ask Us Anything. Any questions, comments you want to address to us, whether it be parks, studio, music, whatever it is, we would love to hear from you in the comments. Ask those questions. Let's get it. OG55 Live. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55 Live. We are taking your questions today on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. The Italiano, Mr. Sticky, welcome back with a fresh new haircut, by the way.
Yep, gotta get my my Jersey Shore kind of look going on there.
Yeah, Daddy Josh would be proud, man. Daddy Josh would be proud, you know.
It's still, I got my little peak going, but it still doesn't match up to yours though.
No. This is some expert level fucking peaks here, you know. But George, if you can let everybody know where they could find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
Did you say sticky? All right, here we go. We got some great questions already. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Mr. Matthew Murr with €5. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. And we do love Matthew. He is on a totally different time zone than we are. And he's all the way in the UK. So Matthew, I know it's late by you a lot of times when these videos release. So we do appreciate you, sir. Matthew here says, if either of you were appointed as either CEO or president of the Walt Disney Company, what would be your first major change you'd make? So George, what do you say? You're the CEO, dude. Bob Iger said, hey, you know what? The Italiano is the guy. What would you do?
Well, my first act of duty would be to give the CEO of the Walt Disney Company a nice, healthy raise.
There you go. That works, right?
I think for me, I would kind of, this is going to sound like the unpopular opinion or kind of like a little bit of a boring kind of move, but I think it would work best is to kind of go through the internal movements of the company itself and just kind of see like what is working and what is not. Also, too, I hate to say this because I'm not a very cruel person, but I would dive a little deep into Lucasfilm and kind of
Fire Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it. And I'm not a Kathleen Kennedy hater. I mean, some people are just ridiculous with this whole thing, but I do think it's time for some fresh eyes at Lucasfilm. I do think we need someone new in there, you know? So I would agree with you. That would actually be one of my first things that I would also do, George. Another thing that I would do, you know, he talks about if I was CEO, I would appoint. What's up, Rogue Attraction? Good to see you. And I'm glad you're feeling better, brother. Rogue wasn't feeling too good the past few weeks. Glad you're feeling better, sir. It's good to see you back. Yeah, actually, the first thing I would do as CEO would be to appoint the president back into the Walt Disney Company. There hasn't been a president role at the Walt Disney Company for many, many years now. I think that was very, very important. It's good to have that kind of check on power, so to speak. So I'd bring that back. Another thing that I would do is this is kind of a smaller thing in terms of the overall like health of the Walt Disney Company. I would do something about Pixar Pier. I'm sorry. I got a lot of Pixar Pier people that always get me for this, but I'm not a fan of it. Disneyland Resort wants to become more of a tourist destination. It's hard to become a tourist destination when one of your parks has a whole area dedicated to very regional amusement park kind of rides. I think DCA really needs to step it up in that department, but you know, those are a couple things I would do. And what's up, girly nerd? How you doing? So anything else you would do, Italiano? I mean, what do you think? I mean, major changes and anything that you would maybe sell off or maybe buy?
For me, I would probably, I don't know. See, like it depends on too, like Okay, I'm very optimistic about like Epic Games because I mean I think that is going to be a good kind of thing like with experience wise, but I have an issue when it comes to a lot of fourth wall metaverse stuff. This is what I was kind of like having a problem with that play pavilion that they were going to do at Epcot. That was going to be completely meta. And I'm glad that they're not doing it. I had an issue with Ralph Breaks the Internet because it had that kind of meta kind of thing to it. So I think the gaming verse, it's the way of with technology, it's a way that it's gonna go. But sometimes that in the long run, that might fall off the short list. So it's not that I would get rid of that or not do it completely, but I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket when it comes to that sort of thing.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Great question, Matthew. Really, really good question. Mr. Ryan Hines, welcome, Ryan. Hey, OG, can you name off your top 5 Pixar films? Oh man, this is a tough one, dude. Okay, in no particular order, because I'm not really good at ranking, but in no particular order, Elemental is definitely in there. I know it's probably the unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed Elemental. I think it had a beautiful message. Wall-E is on that list. I'm trying to think what else. I loved Ratatouille. Believe it or not, no Toy Story movie is on my list. I get it. Everyone loves Toy Story. It's not really my bag, baby. You know what I'm saying? But what else? Obviously Up. Loved Up. And what else was a good one? I don't know. I haven't seen Inside Out 2 yet. But yeah, I don't know. Those are some of my favorites. What about you, George? What are your top 5? You're really... You're yes. Way more of a Pixar guy. I'm sure you could do 5 easily.
Yeah. So my top 5 is, if I could actually remember my order, my number 1, I've said it many times, is Coco. Coco is my number 1 Pixar.
I knew I was going to forget one. Coco's amazing. Absolutely. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. My number 2 is Up. My number 3 was, I think it was Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Number 4 was Wall-E, and number 5 was The Incredibles.
Oh, The Incredibles, yeah. Yeah, they got some great movies, man. And they got some movies that get a lot of shit that actually I do like. Like, I actually liked Brave. I know a lot of people would talk trash about Brave. I liked Brave. I thought it was a cute movie, you know? So, what's up, Michael Wolfson? And what's up? We got Slimer in the house, too. What's up, Slimer? And Mr. Theme Park Conductor. What's going on, Theme Park Conductor? All right, let's go ahead and see what we got here in the chat. Next question is from Mr. Matthew Murr. Second question. If you yourselves were to greenlight any major Disney animation project for next year, what would it be? Forget about the budget. Here's a couple things. I would greenlight a Mickey Mouse, a full-length animated feature for Mickey Mouse to be released on his 100th anniversary, okay, which is coming up actually. And I would also bring back Gigantic, which I thought
that was mine. That was mine. It was Gigantic because I was so looking forward to that movie because I think if it's done well, I feel like that it would be one banger of a film. Plus, it would also greenlit the possibility of adding a Spain pavilion in Epcot.
Right, exactly. That's the kind of stuff I would love to see. Look, Disney is the storybook studio. Disney Animation is a storybook studio, right? That's the kind of stuff that's their wheelhouse. Gigantic is perfect, absolutely perfect for that studio, and it takes place in Spain. I think that's a beautiful culture. I just love it. That would be the thing I would do, and the Mickey Mouse full-length animated feature. Conductor here says, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to OG55. And if you're looking for more of OG55 crew, check out the channel membership. Yes, thank you, Conductor. We appreciate you. Yeah, the memberships are going really good. I think we got like almost 40 members now, which is actually way more than I expected us to have at this time. So we actually released a membership video today.
I think 46, but who's counting?
46. Okay, so we have 46. We did release a membership video today, kind of a Q&A about the Italiano and I. We got some spicy videos in there,
47.
Really good stuff. 47. There you go. Mr. Seymour Doug is in the house. Thank you so much, Seymour. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Seymour. All right. Oh, you know what? This is something I actually do want to talk about. Okay, Slimer. Fantastic
Slimer.
Tomorrowland. Let's talk about this, George, okay? So this is interesting, Slimer. And Slimer is a friend of the channel, family here at OG55. Yes. Thank you for joining us, Slimer. So I don't know if you guys have been watching this whole Comic-Con thing. and they released a clip for Fantastic Four First Steps. It's been on the internet, but it's been taken down a lot. Disney is really aggressive. You can't even really share the tweet. It like gets removed almost immediately. It's a very mid-century 1950s, 1960s kind of vibe, kind of like that 1960s kind of space race, right? Kind of energy, but it's kind of like that also like that time period, but it looks towards the future, right?
Right.
Honestly, Fantastic Four, the way they're approaching this, Marvel, it's perfect for Tomorrowland. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, George. I've said many times, Marvel doesn't have, Tomorrowland doesn't really have the big IP to work with. You know, you can do Arendelle, Frozen Land, Zootopia, Avatar. Those are the heavy hitters for Disneyland Forward. But honestly, after seeing this Fantastic Four footage, this fits perfect in Tomorrowland. If they don't somehow incorporate this into any new Tomorrowland, total missed opportunity. What say you, Italiano?
Absolutely. This is Disney's perfect golden opportunity on a diamond plate to utilize Fantastic Four, especially because you have that mid-century kind of
retro future,
yeah, 1940s, 50s, 60s. And I said it before on the channel. In order for Tomorrowland to succeed, Disney should go back into the past to move it to the future. And this is the way to do it.
Yes, because you can't keep up with the future, especially now, even now more than ever, right? The future is constantly changing, or our vision of the future, right? So what you do is you take a vision of the future that was from yesteryear, you know, and excuse me, and that mid-century vision of tomorrow fits absolutely perfect. Rogue here said it's supposed to be based around Apollo 11 timeframe. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's fantastic. It looks like a really, really good movie. Will it be good? I don't know. That's still up for debate, but it looks really, really good. What do we got here? We got Mr. Mark McHugh in the house. Mark, thank you so much for joining us, brother. How long do you think they are keeping Haunted Mansion Holiday with the holiday overlay? I think, honestly, dude, they're opening it early, right? I think it's going to open soon.
July 29th.
Okay, so tomorrow.
Yep.
And it'll be with the holiday overlay, I believe. Mm-hmm. I think when it opens. So it's going to stay until probably like the first week of January. You know, yeah. I mean, I know it's going to bother some people, but it is what it is. What can we do? You know, what do you think about that, George? Does that bother you, or are you kind of okay with it?
I'm fine with it either way. I mean, I do miss the original Haunted Mansion because we haven't had it for so long, because we're basically running like 2 full years with Haunted Holiday. And I know people are probably going to be like, but I think honestly, with it being closed for so long, I think people would just be satisfied to just accept something back of the mansion.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want them to do? I mean, like, this is the season of we're coming up on the season of Haunted Mansion Holiday, right? Doesn't it usually start in like August, I believe? August, yeah. Yeah, so it's like, it makes sense just to do it now. I get it. We haven't had the regular version in a while, but hey, you know what? They have to do construction. This stuff, you don't just sprinkle some pixie dust over it and it just bibbity bobbity boo, magically transforms. Like, there's real life construction that has to occur, real life timelines and things like that. And look, it sucks, but it is what it is. There's always going to be some inconvenience when it comes to construction. I mean,
exactly. And because Oogie Boogie Bash starts actually on my birthday, August 23rd. And that's when I actually come back from my long, extensive trip. And I didn't get a chance to ask OG this yet. So why not do it live in front of everybody and put them on the spot? But I was actually looking possibly on doing a kind of like an Italiano birthday live show on August 23rd.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro. I'm so down for that. We are definitely going to do that. The only thing, though, that we have to have on the Italiano's birthday is... Where's my, here, cake. There we go. Absolutely. Girly Nerd is in the house. Girly Nerd, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Girly Nerd here says, which Haunted Mansion do you prefer, regular or Nightmare Overlay? I love both, but the original all the way. And is the overlay there too long in your opinion? Here's the thing. I love both too, and I enjoy them differently. I have a hard time with questions like this because the things I like about the holiday version is different than the stuff that I like about the regular version. And I do enjoy both, right? Do I think that they kind of do it for too long? Well, this year, I understand why it's as long as it is. Because like I just said, with the construction, Overall, though, yeah, I mean, August is kind of long. I mean, for Halloween, you're like a couple months out already. What all of August, like some of August, September, and all of October. It's like 3 months in advance is a little excessive. But honestly, a lot of the other parks do that too. They get into Halloween really, really early. But I would cut it a little shorter, like like a little shorter than what they do, and so we can get the regular version a little bit more time during the year. But overall, I like both. I like each one for what they offer. They both offer a very different kind of experience. What say you, Italiano?
Yeah, I'm a kind of biased for both ways. I understand Disney's position, especially this year, as you had said. And I do get it because since people, tend to go on trips a lot and what have you, they sometimes, in their time frame of when they can get off, Disney kind of wants to give that people enough time to, kind of pick and choose during the holidays. But I do think it is a little bit over excessive at times because, to be honest, if I'm going to the parks in August, I really don't want to focus on Halloween. But
yeah, and that's what bothers me too. How come? Okay, when it comes to Christmas, right? When it comes to Christmas time, if it's like even a day before Thanksgiving, people are like, oh my God, Christmas already? Yeah. But Halloween, people are talking about fucking Halloween like 6 months before. Yeah. It's okay. No one seems to complain about it. Go ahead. I just wanted to vent a little bit.
No, you're good. That was awesome.
It's such a double standard. You know what I'm saying?
It really is. And honestly, yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, and it happens everywhere. It's not just Disney, even at Hallmark, it's, we have all the seasons out right now. We have Halloween, fall, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Everything is out right now, and it's crazy. But yeah, I honestly say kind of like perform a little bit of a circumcision and just snip the tip a little bit on.
There you go. That works. Absolutely. And sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Okay, here we go. Theme park conductor with $9.99 super chat. Conductor, thank you so much, brother. We do appreciate you. Also, by the way, Conductor has an amazing theme park channel. Check him out. The OG crew, we're regulars over there at Theme Park Conductor. We just did a great live show with him about a week ago. So make sure you check him out. Conductor says here, did both of you see the announcement from Comic-Con of the new Avengers Doomsday announcement with Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom? Could we see that character show up in Avengers Campus? Okay, number one, will it show up in Avengers Campus? 1,000% yes. Everything shows up in Avengers Campus. I mean, even Deadpool, which people thought there would be no chance of Deadpool, right? He will show up. We're actually going to be doing an Orange Nerd episode with the one and only Slimer tonight. We're recording it tonight. We're going to deep dive into the Marvel Comic-Con announcements. But in a nutshell, the Robert Downey Jr. announcement was interesting, right? Because it kind of poses a lot of questions. Like what would happen, like with Spider-Man, for example, right? This was talked a lot about it on X. With Spider-Man, for example, how is he gonna fight Dr. Doom when Dr. Doom looks just like Tony? Right? That's gonna cause a lot of emotional kind of tension. I think that's gonna be kind of interesting to explore.
I have some really deep thoughts on this. I'll give my overall gist of it right now, but I'm gonna actually save it for tonight's recording with Slimer, and definitely check it out for whoever is our members currently. You'll receive the recording a little bit sooner than the regulars, so definitely, but everyone will have a chance to, because we're going to really deep dive. But just to kind of give a little gist on it, I don't necessarily know how I feel about it. I have to kind of ponder and think about it, because it's like it wasn't something that when they made the announcement, I was like, oh my gosh, this is fucking awesome. Like I looked at it, like, don't get me wrong, Robert Downey Jr. coming back on stage for Marvel, kudos to him. I mean, I absolutely, you talk about a true underdog story of how he
turned his life around. Mad respect to Robert Downey for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is not easy. I mean, he had all kinds of substance abuse problems and all that, and he really turned it around, and that's awesome. It's good to see.
So, but as far as the role that he's partaking in, I was kind of scratching my head at it, thinking, okay, I don't get it. I'm glad he's back in the MCU. And in a way, I can kind of understand it, because I'm glad he's not coming back as Tony Stark, because I had mentioned that on the show before. You bring back Iron Man, it kind of puts Endgame in vain.
It does. So this is probably going to be some multiverse Tony, I'm assuming, right?
That would make sense.
It has to be.
If it was a multiverse Tony that just went rogue and that's who became Doctor Doom.
That's what I think they're going to do. Something along those lines, because you can't have Robert Downey in this role and pretend like it's normal. Like, oh, he doesn't look just like Tony Stark. You can't do that. There has to be some explanation here. It's probably that multiverse equation or some sort of like, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of like body snatcher element where they took over his body or something like that.
Or it makes me wonder if they're even going to show his face at all.
See, that I wouldn't like though, because you get Robert Downey for Robert Downey. It's like the Captain Phasma thing that did in Star Wars. You get Gwendolyn Christie, who's amazing, and you never see her because she's behind the mask the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that would piss me off. I hope they don't do that. But I don't think Feige will, though. Feige doesn't make mistakes like that. I don't think Lucasfilm absolutely does.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, right. But I don't think Feige would make that mistake. I think we're gonna see his face, absolutely. But I'm curious though, the story device they use though to sort of have him in there. So we'll see. A multiverse would work because it wouldn't undermine his sacrifice in Endgame. Exactly, Marianne. Exactly. I think that's exactly it. We actually do have a few here regarding Doctor Doom. So we'll kind of batch these together, I think, right?
Yeah.
So Seymour Duck is asking the same thing. Thoughts on Doctor Doom? Yeah. For me personally, George was really iffy on it when I told him the breaking news over the phone. I'm actually kind of excited for it, dude. I think it's kind of an interesting choice, and I'm kind of curious how they approach it. Okay, it's ballsy. It is super ballsy. This is not a safe move.
It has to be done right. I think if there's one hiccup in the room, it'll be a complete, utter disaster. But I will say, though, I am glad that they're going the route of Doctor Doom and kind of getting away from the Kang dynasty in that sense, you know.
Well, yeah, they had to kind of, right? Yeah, they kind of had to. But this is interesting. Doctor Doom is a dope character. We will see. This is exciting. I think Marvel's back, though, George. I really do. You saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Mm-hmm. You said it was fantastic. You loved it. A lot of people seem to be liking it. The movie is absolutely crushing this weekend. Look up Infamous Iron Man run in the comics. Will do, Rogue. Thank you for that. I'm actually not a big comic guy, but that's interesting. There must be a connection there. I'm very curious about. Shane Narani. And I do apologize, Shane, if I'm mispronouncing your name. If I am, please let me know in the comments.
Give him hell.
Give me hell. Give me hell. Shane Narani says here, is there any Disney movie that you didn't like but then grew on you? That's interesting. Not really, to be honest with you. I'm kind of like one of those people where I either like it or I don't, kind of. Like, very rarely does my opinion of these things change later on.
I think I have one.
What was that?
I actually think, because this is like one of my all-time favorite Disney movies, but honestly, I think in the very beginning when I saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? And honestly, it was The Emperor's New Groove. I thought it was okay when I saw it, but then as I gotten older and understood the jokes and everything, I grew to appreciate it more.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Absolutely fair. Theme Park Casual here says, do you think Country Bears will be added in some way to Grizzly River Run? You know what? I was really bullish on this, Casual, when they added the Big Al statue in front of the attraction over there by the DVC kiosk or whatever. Now I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you. Now I'm not sure, because they just announced they're retheming the Hungry Bear restaurant over there in Disneyland to the Country Bears. So now I'm kind of, look, I do think that this is indicative of a bigger Country Bear push at Disneyland Resort. Look, they just redid the Magic Kingdom version. It's possible that while they were kind of working on those animatronics, they built a couple extra for Disneyland Resort, and we're seeing sort of hints, some breadcrumbs that's coming here. We do know Disney does like to do that when they build animatronics or do anything like that. They like to do these in twos because it saves them money. I think it's very possible we see some Country Bears come to Anaheim, like in some form of an attraction or a show. I'm just not as bullish on it coming to Grizzly River Run anymore, because they added the retheme over there for the Hungry Bear, so it'll be interesting. Now, personally, Casual, I think DCA needs it a lot more. Okay. DCA needs it a lot more. I think if it was up to me, if I was running the parks, it would go into Grizzly River Run. And I think that you take Grizzly River Run, which is currently right now, in my opinion, like a D ticket, you elevate Grizzly River to like an e-ticket with some Country Bear animatronics, some great Country Bear music. You elevate that attraction to an e-ticket. So I hope it goes over where you're saying in the Grizzly River run, but we'll see. It's anyone's game now, really, because Disneyland. What say you, George?
Before I do, I just have to say, casual, yes, Emperor's New Groove is hilarious. As I said, I grew to a much bigger appreciation for the film because of the jokes and the gags and the slapstick on it. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I just have to say that. But I have to say, okay, so here's my idea that I think this is what Disney should do. They're not going to do. This is what Disney should do. I want to go.
Hey, before you say that, bro, we were on Theme Park Conductor's show.
Right.
And it was on our show. He was on our show. Okay.
Right.
I mistake. We did
do both. We did both.
Yeah. But this particular instance, he was on our show. We were talking about Deadpool. And you said, hey, it's not like they're going to do story time with Belle when it comes to Deadpool. And then it gets announced story time with Deadpool. Okay?
That's right.
See, when people call us, Bob Iger shills, and you're literally predicting shit 2 days in advance, that doesn't look good, George. That doesn't look good, bro.
Oh, gosh. Okay, but this, honestly, I really don't think will happen, but this is what I would do. I would literally, put the Country Bears integrated into Grizzly River Run. You start in the rafts for the rapids, and then it ejects you out of the seats and into a coaster, which integrates from water to steel. It blasts you out of the park over the monorail, which you're about to hit and collide with, within millimeters of a second, but it bypasses you just the same. And then it goes through all through of Disneyland Park. It zooms into the kitchen right above the stovetops of the new Hungry Bear, and then it circles back, and then it ejects you back out of the coaster into the raft, and you're back full circle
with an amazing 900 Country Bear animatronic finale.
Yes,
absolutely incredible, George.
That was sarcasm. No, what I really think they should do is they kind of hint at it kind of going in both. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell.
Possible, yeah,
but I think I would love to see it in Grizzly River Run, but I really think that they may move that Big Al statue to kind of like
you were saying that, and it kind of you have a point, right? Because they put the Big Al statue in front of the DVC thing in DCA, right? They can move that statue, but they're working on that whole Critter Country area, so they couldn't put it over there yet. Right. So what if the Big Al statue in DCA is a placemaker? And I think you have a good point. It might be that. And that bums me out because I think DCA, I think it needs to go over there. I think anything Country Bears should go to DCA now. But I just think that park needs it. And I think it fits really great in Grizzly anyway. So,
Yeah. And it would solidify that Grizzly Peak would be staying. I mean, I think it's staying no matter what for right now. But I mean, it would really rubber stamp it. If they can get an IP in there, like the Country Bears, then because I love that part of the park. It's so tranquil. It's so peaceful. I love it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I just wish they can claw their way over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There we go. Lene Ward. It's always good to see you, Lene. It says here, the Nemo submarine retheme ideas. Here's my idea, and this is probably not going to happen, but that's actually where I wanted a new Pandora, because we're getting Pandora here at Disneyland Resort. We don't know which park. It's kind of leaning DCA, but we don't really know. But that was the area that I was kind of hoping that they would kind of do Pandora, right? So you get rid of Autopia, which isn't going to happen now because they're doing electric vehicles. But in my world, you would get rid of Autopia. You would actually get rid of the Submarine Lagoon. I do apologize, Lene, but you would get rid of that. And the motorboat cruise area. And that whole area, obviously, you would have to rework the monorail track. So Bob Iger, get your checkbook out. This is going to get expensive, okay? But you're going to reroute the whole monorail track. You're going to bulldoze everything from Autopia to the motorboat area, and you put Pandora in there. And the reason, Lene, that I would put it in there, it's the perfect segue from fantasy to tomorrow. Avatar as a franchise sort of cradles both. It is very much a fantasy-based franchise, but there's also elements of the future and tomorrow in there. I think it'd be beautiful in that spot. Will they do that? Probably not. But that's what I would do with it. Just in my OG dream world. What about you, George?
Yeah, I really do think, to take the subs out of the equation, but possibly kind of keep the lagoon because it does have the aesthetics of Avatar, which that's where, I thought that it would fit much better in Disneyland than, of what the rumors are going into DCA. But I think honestly right now it's pretty much looking into DCA, because I just don't think Disney's going to want to kind of mess with Disneyland Park right now, especially as you use the term, OG, the spaghetti bowl with the monorail. And plus, and if they don't touch Tomorrowland, then that definitely signifies the fact that, solidifies, that Avatar isn't going into that area, because if they're not going to touch it for Tomorrowland, why the hell would they touch it for Pandora?
I don't think that's where it's going to go. I really don't. I was very bullish on that idea for a long time. I think it's a great spot for it, but I don't think it's going there. But what they could do, speaking of Tomorrowland, George, is, because there are rumors that they're going to announce a modest sort of beautification of Tomorrowland. What they could do, and we talked about this on the phone earlier, right? Mm-hmm. They can beautify our Tomorrowland. They can announce that at D23, beautify it, make it lean into that kind of 1960s era of Fantastic Four, kind of get the aesthetics in line. And then in a few years down the road, you can build a Fantastic Four attraction in Tomorrowland, which I think would be really dope. Right,
depending on like how well the film does. But if it doesn't, which I think it's going to be a banger of a film just by that little piece that was leaked online. But if it doesn't, then you just keep the overall aesthetics of.
And it looks great. It looks great, yeah. Felicia Milani. Felicia, it is always awesome to see you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And thank you so much for being a member on OG55. What do you think of the new movie of Wicked coming in November? Okay, I got to be honest. The trailers have not really done anything for me, Felicia. I feel it reminds me of that movie Disney did in 2012. What was it? The Great Oz?
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah, Oz the Great and Powerful. It feels like that, okay? It does. Hopefully it's not like that. Okay, hopefully not. But aesthetically and everything, it kind of reminds me of that. But look, to be fair, I'm not like a big Wicked person. I've never seen the stage production or anything like that. So I'm not really the demo, I guess. But what say you, George? I think you've seen it before, right, Wicked?
I actually seen the Broadway production of Wicked, which is really good. However, the previews of the film version of what it just, it doesn't kind of pique my interest just for me. Well, I probably will see it just for the sake of seeing it, but it does give off that quality like back in 2012 with Oz the Great and Powerful. I feel like I'm just kind of burnt out of just Oz, like the storyline of Oz. I feel like that it was always like kind of like a hit or miss. The Broadway production of Wicked was definitely a huge success. Obviously, the classic Judy Garland.
That's really, to be quite honest with you, really the only Wizard of Oz that I really like. A lot of the other stuff that they've tried over the decades and decades hasn't really worked for me personally. Yeah. Just my opinion.
And there's the very kind of not controversial in a bad way, but just because this movie has hit a lot of lashings. If anyone has seen I believe it was in the 80s, Return to Oz. Okay. It was basically kind of a sequel to the original, but it starred young actress at the time, Fairuza Balk. The interpretations of like the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion were very, very odd looking.
Wasn't that a Disney movie?
Was. Yes.
And Tin Man was like this kind of fat, like.
That was TikTok. That's TikTok. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But that's what I was going to get at. But yeah, they added new characters. TikTok.
Gotcha.
Jack the Pumpkin Head, which it was, I think, kind of interesting of how then The Nightmare Before Christmas created Jack the Pumpkin King. And then what was it? The Gump. What was it? The Gump. The like the moose head that they brought to life. You know, it was just like, it was kind of bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really a big fan of that. I guess this is maybe for me. I don't like the franchise overall. I love the 1930s film. I think it's a beautiful film. It's a masterpiece. You know, it's a cinematic treasure. But everything else surrounding The Wizard of Oz, I haven't really loved. And we got Maybe in the house. And when Maybe's in the house, we play the Maybe drop. Let's go.
'Cause I'm that girl that drives you crazy, but you're killing me alone. Got you thinking maybe alone. Got you thinking maybe alone. Got you thinking maybe.
Maybe is officially in the house. Always good to see you, Maybe. Appreciate you as always. BJ Vincent with a two-parter here says there are versions of Doctor Doom. A lot of Doctor Doom questions. If people like Doctor Doom, this is gonna be crazy. I will have to say this before we get into BJ's comment or question. Like, nobody does conventions like Kevin Feige. Like, this guy manages to get everyone excited, everyone talking. He is the absolute GOAT. I mean, he just crushes it every time. He obliterated the internet last night. It was crazy.
I mean, just really quick, I was just going to say I agree with you. I mean, Feige is like, I mean, he's on top of his game right now. I mean, for the overall success of Deadpool and Wolverine, for its the biggest weekend so far.
For R-rated.
For R-rated, and then you have the Comic-Con, all the stuff that was released, and he just received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I mean, this guy's invincible right now.
Yeah, no, he deserves it. He's a talented guy. BJ here says there are versions of Doctor Doom in the Marvel multiverse who are actually Tony Stark. It's also worth pointing out that there are versions of Doctor Doom in the Marvel multiverse who are actually Tony Stark. One of these is Iron Maniac, a version of Tony Stark introduced in 2004's Marvel Team Up number 3. Dude, look at BJ. He's got the number 3. He knows all the comic stuff. I don't read the comics, BJ's. I got to be 100% with you, but it looks like they're pulling from some of this stuff. So that's interesting. That's actually very, very interesting. I'm excited for it, dude. I really am. I love Robert Downey. I think it's fascinating that they're bringing him back to do this role. It's obviously going to be some multiverse thing, I'm sure. So it'll make sense. And I think like I said before, it adds an element of a possibility of some emotional tension there with like Spider-Man and seeing his hero and having that issue, of having to fight this guy. I think it's going to create a lot of tension, and I think it's going to be kind of cool for the story, in my opinion. Googam 32. Do you think we'll ever see a disabled Disney princess in our lifetime? It's possible. It's possible. I hope so. I think that'd be great. I have no issue with that. What do you think, George? Do you think we'll ever see a disabled Disney princess in our lifetime?
I think in time they probably will. I do think there is a little bit of a slippery slope with that, because then if you end up making that princess a meet and greet, you would then have to have an actress to portray that character of a disabled princess. And would people kind of have that mindset of making a mockery of the disability? It's
kind of almost like, yes, it's almost kind of like the cultural appropriation argument that people, you know what I'm saying? But like with disabled people. So I see what you're saying there. Yeah. And it depends on what the disability is, and stuff like that. So that's interesting, but I think eventually we will, though. I think absolutely. Jason Hill is in the house. What's up, Jason? We talk about Disney and Universal getting ready for the LA Olympics. I'm here in Paris. Wow, you're in Paris? And have not seen one advertisement about Disneyland Paris. Was this a miss? Minions were in the opening ceremony. Yeah, it's absolutely a miss. It's absolutely a miss. You have Disney has a park in Paris, and they're not advertising it, but you got the stupid Minions in the opening ceremony. Come on, Disney. Come on. What say you, George?
Again, yeah, definitely total missed opportunity. I mean, you have the Olympics going off in Paris. You have Disneyland Paris. It's like, showcase it. It's like, that's the only thing that kind of like bugs me, is the fact of that Disney kind of has like these little glimmers of golden nuggets, and it's like then they just flush the toilet.
All right. Glimmering in the toilet, and boom. There we go. And Kaylee is absolutely right. Friend of the channel. We love Kaylee with 2 E's. Teddy bear shirt season. It is indeed. Here we go. Absolutely. It's good to see you, Kaylee. Always good to see you. And we got Starship 824 in the house. What's going on, Starship? Let's see here. We have Skycast. Oh, that's a cute little. Oh, that little tiger. That's adorable.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh. Hey, Kaylee, maybe you'll see OG in a little cute little tiger cartoon like that on a shirt one day. You never know. It'll be a cute tiger shirt season. I don't care much for Oz until I see a review, because it's fairly certain that it's another Acolyte show or movie. I don't know what you mean by that, Sky, to be honest with you. Do you mean it's going to suck? I don't know. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it could be disappointing. I don't know. And like I said, to be fair to Wicked, I'm not really not like a huge fan of that overall IP. So I feel like I'm not really like the person to ask for that kind of stuff. I mean, George, you're more into it, or you're more of a fan than I am. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so much honestly for the Acolyte, because I know that it is kind of crushing numbers right now on Disney Plus. But and when I say crushing, I don't mean like over like exaggerating that, but I mean like it's doing better than what a lot of people are saying. But I'm telling you, folks, I only got through literally 15 minutes of the first episode, and I couldn't go anymore.
Really? That's interesting, man. I feel like Acolyte is a show that you either love or hate. I see people on my timeline loving it. Our friend Evan, we've had on the show so many times. We love Evan. Shout out to Evan. But he's like, he wants a season 2, like so bad. And then I see other friends going like, oh man, this thing sucks so bad. Like it's one extreme or the other, you know?
Yeah.
Michael Wolfson here says, Wish has grown on me. I still haven't seen it. It's on my list. Still haven't seen that movie.
Dude, they're gonna come out with a sequel, and you're not gonna be able to see the original yet. That's funny.
Exactly. And speaking of lists, hold on one second. I gotta go back up because I missed our boy. Hold on one sec. Tones. Where's Tones Poppy? Hold on one sec.
Tones came in. I didn't even see him.
Oh man, Tones is in here. Let me get him.
He snuck in.
Yes. Here he is. Tones Poppy. Hey cuties. Wish I was there to join you all. We wish you were here too, Tones. The reason why I bring Tones up is I'm a House of the Dragon fan. I do love House of the Dragon, but I have not seen a single episode this season. I've just been super busy with like the channel and work and like family stuff. And he's always teasing me like, when are you gonna actually watch this thing? You know, like it's on my list. No, in all seriousness though, this is on my list. I really want to see House of the Dragon. I'm probably just gonna wait till it ends and just binge watch the whole thing at this point. I'm like 6 episodes.
Or I'll just skip it all together.
Skip it all together. No, I can't skip it. I like it too much. I got to check it out. Let me see here. Where were we? I am like so lost. Oh, here we go. All right. Hey, OG and OG fam. Any chance of them bringing back and turning extraterrestrial alien encounter into a trackless dark ride? Maybe a follow-up original attraction. Look, if they're willing to bring Deadpool into DCA, I mean, that's a step in a way more adult direction. Now, I get it that Deadpool is G rating, you know, it's appropriate for families. You know, he's not saying any vulgar jokes or anything, but it seems like Disney's willing to get adult, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's cool for a park like DCA, totally fine with that. If you want to put Alien Encounter in a park like DCA or a park like Hollywood Studios, I say go for it. Like I said before, that's why you have these secondary gates to dabble in things that you can't do with the castle parks. Why have every single park have the same demographics? Why not have some of these parks have a little bit older? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a park like DCA, the demographic is older. It's more along the line of a Universal, in my opinion. But what say you, George?
Yeah. And also, too, Alien Romulus will be coming out soon. You know, Disney acquired the Fox, you know, rights of all that stuff. So as you said, OG, you could definitely, you know, kind of put in those IPs in those kind of like more older, adult oriented kind of parks like DCA, kind of a little bit more edgier like Hollywood Studios. So I'd be all for it if they did it. And a lot of people would say, you know, oh, they'll never bring Deadpool to the parks. You know, they'll never even skim the surface of that. Well, here he is.
Oh, I was one of them. I got to be honest with you. I was one of them. I didn't think they would do Deadpool in the parks, and they did. And actually, I don't know if you guys at home have seen it, but Deadpool in the parks is amazing. Like they perfectly balance Deadpool's personality, but keep it family friendly. But it still feels like Deadpool, though. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's not doing like dick jokes or anything like that, it still feels like Deadpool, even though he's not doing the vulgarity. I think it's fantastic. But there are a lot of people. I see a lot of it on X. This is not appropriate. I don't know. In my opinion, I think it's absolutely fine, especially the way they've been handling it. And then when he was riding that unicorn through Avengers Campus.
Oh, shit.
I lost it, bro. I lost it. This guy, out of control. Absolutely out of control. It's kind of campy, though, for like Disney. That's what kind of surprises me. Like, it's kind of campy and kind of ballsy. So, interesting moves. Starship here says, I hate the idea of Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom, no matter what way you slice it, whether he's Dr. Doom, Tony Stark variant, or he's literally playing Victor Von Doom. It doesn't make sense. It's interesting. There's a lot of people with that opinion, Starship. I mean, you're definitely not alone with that. So yeah, it's definitely something to consider. But we'll have to wait and see how they kind of tie it all together. Cassandra here says, love Deadpool in the parks. Great addition. I agree with you, Cassandra. I wish he'd be a permanent addition, to be quite honest with you. Let me see here. We got Jason Hill. Thoughts on D23 day offering at Disneyland? I'm sort of disappointed with the offerings. What say you, George? What about that?
Well, I'll actually be there for the D23 day at Disneyland. I know that they're going to do like a cavalcade over at Disneyland at 12:15 p.m. They said they're supposed to have like 23 characters kind of to represent for D23, and I think they're going to have some like Disney legends, probably some people that work like maybe internally in the company or what have you. They'll probably have like the ambassadors over there. Yeah, I didn't really expect anything like too big. I think this is just something that they were just going to kind of like throw together just to kind of add in the addition, because basically on the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th is the big event, itself. So I really didn't expect too much. So it's like, I'm okay with it. It just adds like a little bit of extra just to kind of get people like hyped up for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I see D23 day kind of similar to how I look at like Disney Plus day or something.
Yeah.
It's not really like, it's not a big celebration, really. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of a little extra thing for the day. Starship here says, I saw all the Save Splash Mountain people upset about the joke. Yeah, I saw that too. Well, a lot of the Save Splash Mountain people were already upset that Deadpool was even in the parks in the first place. And then now he's making jokes about Splash Mountain. It was like, oh my God. Deadpool was only there for a few hours and he was already causing all kinds of waves on the internet. It was absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Girly Nerd here says, whew, what Broadway show, especially Disney, have you seen? Thoughts on a movie they should bring to the stage next? I've seen Lion King on Broadway, which is absolutely incredible. That's like goosebumps like the whole way through. Mm-hmm. And I saw Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. Those are the only two that I saw. What about you, George?
I've seen The Lion King, which for me, it's still number one of just Broadway shows of all time.
Now, would you say The Lion King is the GOAT? I'm sorry. I had to do a dad joke.
Yeah, of course. It made a roaring impact.
Yeah, hey, you ain't lying.
I've seen Beauty and the Beast. That was actually my first Broadway show ever that I've seen. I've seen Mary Poppins. I've seen Tarzan. I've seen The Little Mermaid.
I knew this guy was going to have a whole freaking list. I knew it.
And I've also seen 4 times now Disney in concert that it's kind of, it travels, but then it comes to like each city and they use the city's own orchestra. So the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra did a whole concert of just music and melodies of Disney songs, and they bring up this huge screen and they play like the animation tied to the music.
That's awesome. And Girly Nerd here says I've seen almost all, but still need to see Lion King. That's on my wish list. Oh, Girly Nerd!
Wow,
that one is amazing. Let me see here. Where were we? I'm like losing my spot here. Oh, here we go. Shane Narani here says Deadpool and Wolverine made $438 million, but Disney is falling apart, right? Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing too, right? Look, I get it. There are people who say, well, people were boycotting the Disney brand because of woke or because of whatever. You don't go from we're boycotting and we're abandoning Disney branding to this, to making $438 million in a weekend worldwide. You don't go from boycotts and we're sick of the Disney brand to what Inside Out 2 is currently doing. It's clear that the general public isn't boycotting the mouse. It's clear that that whole thing was overblown, on social media. It's clear that the general public, all they really wanted was good movies. And when Disney provides you a good movie, they're going to watch it. But people are still very much in line with the Disney IP, with Marvel, with Pixar. We're going to see it again in November when Moana 2 does $1.5 billion.
And do you know why? Because right now, all you hear is crickets.
Yes, sir. And then Cassandra here says, Comic-Con came out swinging. I hope D23 can deliver at that level. Yes, I hope so too. Cassandra, look, we are so critical of Josh Giamaro here on this channel. Josh, if you ever watch this, we are rooting for. We just please deliver. Please don't make the same mistakes you made at the other expos. Please get out there, hit a home run. If Josh does well,
and follow
the
through
parks
with
do
it.
well.
You have to
Yes.
follow through with it.
Come on, we got to get some big news, and you have to also instill some confidence. Honestly, we're at the point now where it's kind of like Lucasfilm. You know, Lucasfilm will announce a movie and people are like, oh yeah, if it ever happens. We're kind of getting to that point now with the parks. Josh has to instill some confidence somehow, some way, that these announcements are actually going to happen. And these announcements are going to happen the way they're being promised. That Epcot stuff, and I get it, there was a pandemic and there were a lot of issues along the way. We also went through 2 CEOs in that time period. I understand that. But the fan trust has been broken. They have to manage to instill some of that trust back. So it'll be very, very interesting. We'll do a couple more. Then we got to get out of here because we have a recording to do with Mr. Slammer. Let me see here. We got Mr. Starship. We didn't hear much on the news of new movies or TV shows at Comic-Con for Marvel. So do you think we'll see more at D23? 100%. Mm-hmm. They got to save some stuff, Starship, for like D23, right? That's really the main, that's the Disney event right there, the D23. So they didn't want to like completely give us everything at Comic-Con. I think they gave us just the right amount. We'll probably hear a lot more other stuff, like you were saying, like TV shows, other things.
And that'll be on the 9th because the 9th is the studio presentation at the Honda Center.
Yes, and we will be there. We will be at D23, the Italiano and I, for all 3 days. We'll be there, and we've been hearing a lot of our friends will be there as well. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a banger. If you're there and you see us walking around, just come by and say hi, you know. And, George loves the attention. He's an attention whore. So
I really am.
Yeah, he loves it. He eats it up. He's like, oh, man, I'm hungry. I want the attention. All right. And it says here, Cassandra says, we need that drone show. Yes. The Marvel drone show with the giant Fantastic Four logo at Comic-Con.
That was like, oh, man.
Dude, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And I think really, too, honestly, a drone show could potentially come to Disneyland, but I think it's going to be kind of tied into the future third gate. Because that's what I'm going to call it, because eventually Disneyland will get a third gate.
Exactly. You have 75 acres over there in the Toy Story lot. It's not going to become a mall. I can promise you that. And even if look, here's the thing. I'm going off on a total tangent now.
Go for it.
But even if you make the argument, well, OG, it's not going to be just a mall. It'll be a hotel too. But you're not going to book more rooms with a hotel and no new park. You need the park to justify another hotel. They have to build a park there if they want to do any new hotel or if they want to bolster their occupancy. It's going to be a park. Will it be soon? I don't think so. I think we're at least a few years away from that. But eventually, yeah, it'll be a park. But everybody, I want to thank you so much. Oh, wait, here we go. Hold on one sec. Here we go. Mark McHugh. He's opened up a can of worms. Yeah. Here we go. What theme would you want for a third gate? Mark, I've been saying this for a long time. I don't.
Here we go.
Here we go. I don't think they're ever going to do this. Okay, but Westcott, I would put Westcott there. You know what I'm saying? And you do the Westcott concept. Look, I get it. It's all about the IP now. So for the various countries, you would have IP attractions. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? In the Asia Pavilion, you would have maybe like Raya the Last Dragon and Mulan, what have you. You can do this stuff, right? But my whole point here with Westcott is I think it'd be a big moneymaker for the Disneyland Resort because of that locals population. We have a really big locals market out here in California, a lot of Magic Key holders. And if you have that drink around the world element in that park, it's over. That would be so popular here in California. It would be insane. So that's what I would do. What about you, George?
Yeah, for me, third gate.
What say you?
I would kind of dive into a little bit more of the villains, because I do believe that while Disney World is going to get a villains land, I would love to see a villains park over at Disneyland.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'm down for that too. Absolutely. What's up, Justin? Good to see you, Justin. Mr. Seymour Duck says here, do you think it's a coincidence that Disney earnings are so close to D23? I kind of do in a way, because I remember last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was around, the earnings was around the first week of August as well, because we were coming back from Florida. Right. And I remember trying to figure out like, how are we going to record all this stuff? Yeah. So I think it is a coincidence, Seymour Duck, but I mean, it could either work for them or against them in a way. It depends on what their earnings are, but we'll see. But here's the thing though, it's an opportunity, right? Because, and do I think they're going to do this? I don't think so. But if Bob Iger were to announce his successor at this earnings call, then he can have that new CEO successor make their rounds at the D23, kind of get close, rub elbows with fans, get on stage, kind of get acquainted with everybody. I think that would be a real big opportunity. Do I think that's going to happen this time around? I don't, but I think it'd be a smart move.
Because they said by the end of this year, they should have.
That's what Kevin Mayer said. I think it was like by the end of the year or something like that. So
now did they mean in the sense of they'll know for sure, or they'll actually announce it? Could they announce it still in 2025, but they'll just know by the end of 2024?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I hope they announce it soon, though. I'm like, oh man, I really want to know. I still think it's gonna be Dana Walden. I really do. They might have, maybe they'll reinstate the president role and have DeMauro be president. They might do something like that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Dana Walden. Justin Ray Elgato Diaz. Oh, I love that name. I'll be at Disney on August 8th for D23 Day. Well, so will this guy.
Yes.
He will be there.
I will be there.
He'll be there.
Bells and all.
Yeah, there he is. And maybe I would be there every day. I think she's referring to Westcott Drink Around the World. Hey, we all would. That would be freaking amazing. Come on, Disney. Get it together. Build Westcott for us.
Yeah, and maybe, honestly, I don't know if you've ever been to Epcot, and if you haven't, you would love it. You could just walk right. You could do the drinking around the world, walk into Mexico, and stagger out of Canada by the time you reach over there.
Because that park is so big.
It's huge.
It's massive.
World Showcase alone could be its own park.
Yeah, it's massive. Oh, it's beautiful. I loved Epcot. And believe me, when I say Animal Kingdom is my favorite, it only beat Epcot by like this much. You know what I'm saying? I loved Epcot. What
was actually funny though, but you kind of went back and forth between the two as you were there each day.
I know. Whatever park I was in, that was my favorite.
Because we did Epcot twice and we did Animal Kingdom twice.
Both amazing parks. And I wonder how much of it is based on me being a Californian. And those are the two parks that feel different.
Probably.
Because Magic Kingdom is sort of like, live action remake Disneyland, right?
Yes.
And Hollywood Studios is kind of more like DCA. Marianne here says, Epcot is my #1 park I want to visit in Walt Disney World. Yeah, you won't be disappointed, Marianne. It's a fantastic park. Fantastic park. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining this episode of OG55 Live. Maybe Girly Nerd, Mr. Seymour Duck, Justin Elgato Diaz, Starship, Cassandra, Mark McHugh, Michael Wolfson, Jason Hill, Theme Park Casual, Kaylee, Lene Ward, The Rogue Attraction, BJ Vincent, Slimer, Felicia, everybody who joined us today. Bad Thoughts. We love you, Bad Thoughts. And
sorry. We hit it at the same time.
Mr. Seymour Duck here, gifted 1 OG55 membership. Thank you so much, Seymour. We appreciate you, brother.
Number 48.
We're up to 48. Thank you so much, Seymour. And we have a lot of exclusive content for the members coming up. So actually a video just dropped today for the members. So thank you so much. And Cassandra, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the day. And thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55 Live.